Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this Woodsy 4-piece centerpiece from a log. In case you haven't been following, this is part of my 2025 Christmas countdown of crafts. This year I'm featuring easy, inexpensive projects using items found in nature. So if this is of interest to you, stay with me and I'll show you each step. To begin, I hunted through my wood pile to find something that was seasoned and around 12 inches in diameter. I found this log that I believe to be spalted maple that fit the bill. You want to choose something that's a bit longer than your finished centerpiece because of how it's going to be cut. I initially thought I'd cradle my log in this sawbuck that I built, but decided to set it on the ground and later a sturdy pallet. The top surface needed to be cleaned because there was a lot of buildup growing on it. You can do this with a palm sander, but I'm lucky enough to own a tool called the Restorer, and it's probably the best thing to use for removing material quickly. Next, I measured the diameter of the log. It was roughly 11.5 inches. Doing my best, I found center by drawing a straight line across horizontally and then vertically. The log isn't perfect, so this was a little tricky. Some of the bark was loose, so I peeled that off where I was able. Then I divided each quarter in half and then followed that line inward from the outer edge to the halfway point. My number was 2 3/4 inches, but yours will most likely be different. I compared the size of the bottom of my battery-operated tea light candles to my Forstner bits. The size that matched up was 1 3/8 of an inch. I had never worked with these before and made the mistake of drilling a pilot hole first, so don't do this. It will make the Forstner bit skate away from your intended target. Once I was happy with the depth, I put a piece of painter's tape on the shank so I could make each following one consistent. Then I put the log on a pallet and used a bungee cord to anchor it. Using my 16-inch chainsaw, I carefully cut the horizontal and vertical lines, doing my best to keep the bar straight up and down. You might also use a reciprocating saw if you have that or feel more comfortable using it. I cut down to a depth of around 6 inches. Doing this will create quarters. I turned the log on its side and carefully measured down to around 6 inches and snapped a chalk line as somewhat of a visual guide. I used the bungee cord again to stabilize the log, otherwise I knew it would go flying once I began cutting. As I did this, it released each section, which was kind of neat to watch. I had to rotate the log to make the final cut. And I don't think I did so bad, all things considered. I got out my Restorer again to clean up the rough cuts and remove more jagged bark. Next, I sprayed the wedges with clear polyurethane and let them dry. Even though I added several coats, they seemed to soak into the wood, so I brushed on a few layers instead. This gave the project the glossy look I was going for and really made the patterns in the wood pop. There was one inside corner that broke off when I made the cuts, so I repaired it with wood filler and used markers, paint, and stain to blend it in. The only thing left to do was add the tea light candles and some flowers and greenery. I set this on a large plate, which is actually a leftover microwave turntable. You could probably get away with using real tea lights if you kept a close eye on this, but I didn't want to show anything that could potentially be dangerous, so I went with the battery-operated ones. I think this makes a really pretty rustic decoration that would be lovely on a side table, like I'm showing it, or as a focal point on a dining table. After the holiday season, you could leave it out and enjoy it a little bit longer. So let me know if you have any questions or suggestions on things you might do differently, and let me know if you liked today's craft. If you did, I hope you'll give me a follow and watch the rest of the countdown. You can also find me on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook as well. As always, I appreciate the support. Until next time, take care.